Welcome back, dudes. It is Tube Tuesday. Once again, looking at the 732. I'm pretty excited about it. We are in San Francisco. This might be an interesting one. Got no GPS on board. As you know, we're just doing VOR to VOR. And there's an AirMet Zulu on the way from here to Los Angeles, which means moderate icing all the way. And I think ceilings are like 19 or 20,000 feet. So visibility shouldn't be a problem when we get to Los Angeles. But don't know. Might be exciting. We will see. I haven't done anything to the plane, so the first thing I'm going to do before we can get in there, I got the cargo doors and the front passenger door open, and we'll set weight and balance. So zero fuel weights needs to be 92.1, and we are at 83.9. Perfect. 92.01, that'll do. Center of gravity is 19.8, which works for me, and our block fuel needs to be 13.7. And we are currently at what? 13.666. That's a good number. 13.7, so our max landing weight is a little bit over, but we're going to burn that fuel off before we get down there. Center of gravity is at 20.4, so it's not going to change too much between here and there, which is good. And that's done, so we can go ahead and set bugs there. So V1, 137, V rotate 138, and V2, 143. Get in the cockpit and start doing some real work. GPU, please. To our overhead, we'll go ahead and get the battery on. GPU connected.
414 tower lineup, runway 23.
Arm emergency lights, no smoking lights on, seatbelts auto. Nav lights, position lights, there we go. And we'll throw a logo on there. Don't need this stuff, it's like 230 or 3 local here, so that's probably going to be bright for a little while. And since our cargo's already in there, we can close those doors up.
414 tower lineup, runway 23. Left 23 or Canada 414.
First thing we'll do is go ahead and get our weather. 122.0.
Kilo, Sierra, Foxtrot, Oscar,
Oh,
airport information, Juliet 2156, Zulu, weather, wind 058 at 4, visibility 10, sky condition, few clouds at 1000, few clouds at 3000, ceiling 9500, overcast, temperature 16, 2.11, altimeter 2999, advise on initial contact, you have information, Juliet.
Information Juliet 2, 9er, 9er, 9er.
Watch at 117 ground taxi.
Kilo,
Juliet Hotel Golf City Apron.
Hotel Golf City, watch at 117.
There we go. Those are all set. Winds 058 at 4, so we're going to take 10 left. And we're doing
Watch at 117 ground
a
taxi.
non-RNAV SID. So we're doing the gap, what is this? Gap 7 departure, runways 10 left and right. Turn left and climb on the San Francisco, wait, wrong one. Taking 01 left. Climb on the San Francisco VOR radial 350, so San Francisco is 115.8.
Okay, check taxi to runway 02.
That should come in. There you go, 115.8. It's already selected, and we're going to go on the 350 radial. Climb out of here, make a left turn, intercept this, and we'll climb to, we'll say 6,000 initial. And then we'll take vectors to our first VOR, which is going to be, I think, Salinas? No, Big Sur. Big Sur is 114.0. And we'll just do whichever way we want to. In terms of radials, we'll just vector ourselves basically straight there. Just on clearance delivery here.
Got
118.2.
We have 43
Send.
And ground control 121.8.
Good morning, it's Rouge 1975, gate 126 with Golf, identifier 121 Yankee. Rouge
There we go.
1975.
Get Big Sur on the active on this side, so we'll go 114.0 here. So once we get airborne, we'll be tracking obviously the San Francisco 350 radial, so we get vectors. And then I'll use the nav2 over on the first officer side to figure out a vector to get us to Big Sur, and from there we'll just fly the plane that I've got. So it's going to go Big Sur to what is Romeo Zulu Sierra,
Clearance, good morning, Air Canada 185 Heavy.
San Marcos, and then San Marcos, and we should be able to get an arrival SAD. So it'll be San Marcos to Ventura, and then probably, depending on what runway we're going to use, either vectors to final, or we're going to vector around to the other side, depending on if we're doing runway 07 or 25. We'll see when we get a little bit closer. Ooh, she's raining a little bit.
Clarence, good morning. Curveline 603, information Golf, requesting clearance to Tango Tango, Papa. Looks like we're having an early departure today. Clearance 603, roger, they're changing this part of your route, so maybe different than what you filed. Clear to Tango Tango, Papa. Regis 2 departure.
Give me the transponder code.
Golf, Uniform Sierra number 2, Papa Sierra Bravo transition, direct at Lima Yankee Hotel, and then the flight plan routes, departing runway 06 left, clock 2204. Clear to Tango Tango, Papa, Regis 2 departure, Phillipsburg transition, direct Lima Yankee Hotel, rest of it unchanged, runway 6 left, squawk 2204, Caribbean 603. Caribbean 603, all correct, Aegis Hotel, apron for push.
Good job. On the ground, and tower is going to be 120.5. We are getting ready for push. Let's get our APU going. Fuel pumps are on. Nothing, let me double check, nothing in the center tank. Click that over to run for a second. Double check that everything up here is set. Gas per fan, we'll turn that on. Packs on. Turn the engine bleeds off, APU bleed on. And we are going east-ish, so that's going to be 33. It's going to be an odd 1,000, so we'll go 33. It sounds good. Landing altitude, LA is probably like 50 feet. Not going to make too much of a difference. We'll do cabin altitude, 6,000 works. We are on auto. Increase that rate. Here we go. EGT is coming up. That's firing up. Should be able to hear it in a second. Yaw damper is on. Fuel is set. Let's go APU gen so we can see when that comes back.
004. Give way to the west at 37, approaching up.
Oh, those Fly J Sim sounds are the best. Straight out of the box. Good job. EGT looking good. Waiting for our volts to come up here. We'll plan our pushback when we get to that. We are going to go that way.
Round to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
Here we go, APU's producing electricity, get down the bus. Good, good, good. And we'll disconnect the GPU.
Juliet Alpha short of Juliet. 26 flaps go, 3569.
Auto brakes there to max. Armor speed brakes. And stabilizer trim was, what, 5.43. That's flaps to departure, and again, we're set there 137, 138 for rotate. And we'll get 250, yeah, 250 is bugged already for IAS climb.
Ground 1014, good day. Gate Delta 71, full ready for pushback and startup.
Hotel 1014 heavy. Traffic just about to go behind you and push your discretion.
Copy for information traffic and pushback at discretion. Hotel 1014.
So we're going to climb out of here. We're going to intercept the 350 radial on San Francisco. I'm going to go ahead and set a heading. We're going to go north and then swing back around to the west. If the visibility is good, I'll be able to see the bridge before we get out of here. So the north will be on the VOR radial, and then we'll go 270, and then we'll swing back south to intercept the Big Sur VOR. That's going to be roughly, let's see, I can get a rough vector there. Let's see, 120. There we go, that works, we're all set. Pretty sure. So let's close the door. Oh, it's already closed, great. Cycle the parking brakes, get rid of our gate there, and we'll anti-collisions, call for pushback.
7712, proceed via Mike and Tango to the apron.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Need to remember to set our anti-ice before we get out of here. Look at that little thing.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect. So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
There you go, bud. We'll wait a minute before we fire up the
Starting
engines.
pushback, and you may start engines.
Until we're past that little line out there behind us. Just enjoy the view here for a second. Classic Delta livery, that's my favorite. The widget. Once we're past this little line out here, we'll go ahead and fire up the engines. Make sure our wing view windows are open too. All the way Let's do it. Packs off. Duct pressure coming up there. Start with engine number 2 as per usual. N2 till 20% down here. There you go, buddy. Good start, get that on low ignition, and we'll do the same thing for engine number 1.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
System 2 round runway 18, altimeter 29.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Whiskey Foxtrot, cross 25, and then via Tango for runway 18.
There you go, 2 good starts. Low ignition there, let's see. Pitot-static heat on, wing anti-ice. Let's test that.
And taxi for Western 72.
Western 72 round runway 18, altimeter 29.
I'm not going to need a ton of power for takeoff, so I can turn those on now.
Cross 25, and then via Tango for
Good, I
runway
think
18.
good.
Cross 25
The engines on the bus.
72.
APU off. APU bleed off. Engine bleeds on, and packs back to on.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the right. We'll see you next time and have a great flight.
Thanks, friend. Probably don't need those just yet. It's not raining that hard. It's kind of loud.
Stop 40 ground, proceed across, runway 13 via route whiskey, hold short, runway 18.
There we go. I think we're good for taxi here.
Stop 40 ground, proceed across, runway 13 via route whiskey, hold short, runway 18.
No takeoff config warning. That's a good time. See ya. Fun fact I learned myself, the JT8Ds, those are the engines on the 732. They're basically jet engines. The A6 Intruder used a modified version of those engines.
Cover 7540, round taxi Fox, whiskey, apron 1.
Flight director on go around, and wait a minute, we'll get up to like 2,000 and then we'll engage the autopilot because there's a lot of stuff to do that's going to happen really fast once we take off. It's not quite the same thing as flying something with an FMC, a PFD, MFD.
Cover 7540, round taxi Fox, whiskey, apron 1.
last checks here. External lights, the runway floods on, taxis can come off, strobes can come on, positions on, battery there, anti-collision lights are on, logo lights are on, transponder, TARA, and double check here. EPR limits are set, there you can see them bugged. Flaps are set 2, speed brake is armed, auto brakes are on max. Get this on tower. And departure control 120.9er. Let's go.
Air Canada 4-1. Canada 413, contact ground 119. Air Canada 4-1. Tower option 910, curious inbound. Option 910, tower 737, traffic short, final wind calm, clear to land runway 24 left. Clear to land 24 left, option 910.
I'm going to hold the toe brakes here and then bring the power up so we can set our EPR limit, because it takes a minute for the spool up and I don't want to be paying attention to that while trying to hold the center line. About 40%. Wait for them to stabilize, start to bring it up. There we go, takeoff power. Release the brakes, see ya. We're gonna climb until we, you see the deflection on the CDI down there. Once that starts coming in, we're gonna follow that radial. It's the 350 radio, San Francisco. Climb to 6,000 and then we'll start vectoring.
80 knots.
Chubby little airplane today.
Rotate.
Here we go. Tap the brakes. Get the gear up. Start that left turn. Try to intercept that radial.
Air Canada 414, wind calm, clear to take off runway 23. Clear to take off 23, Air Canada 414. Air Canada 414, wind calm, clear to take off runway 23. Clear to take off 23, Air Canada 414.
.193, gonna flaps clean. Alright, so the deflection on the CDI is coming down now. What we're gonna do, get autopilot on. IES mode. And I want nav VOR localizer. That's gonna follow our radial right there. Climb to 6,000 and then we're gonna start vectoring ourselves around to get to the big serve VOR. I'll turn those runway lights off and the outboards can come off as well. I forgot to set the seatbelts. They're on auto. We're good. Contact departure as well. 120.9er. There's San Francisco. Go ahead and switch it over to heading mode.
206, all correct, departure 33.
Baby tube, do. Baby tube. How you doing, Patty? Baby tube.
206 all correct, departure 33.
Not too shabby. Alright, there's 6,000, a little bit over our speed limit there. No big deal. I'm going to switch this over to the Big Sur VOR 114.0. Stay on this heading in a second.
OSU 2618 departure, identify time 7,000. 7,000.
It is the bush plane of turbojets. I'm going to start climbing. Let's go 12,000, see if we get above these clouds.
OSU 2618 departure, identify time 7,000. 7,000.
Go ahead and start this next turn.
301730 departure, identified maintain 5,000.
Double check I got the right frequency for Big Sur 114.0. 114.0, good, thanks on both sides. That's roughly the direction we need to be going. Obviously not picking up the CDI, no DME, and there's no deflection on the needle at this point. But it's going to be around 121. So we'll set our course to our heading. 121, see how that gets us.
301730 departure, identified maintain 5,000. 5,000, 301730. Copa 471 traffic, 11 o'clock, 6 miles northbound, Embraer descending north altitude, but welcome for Copa 471. Copa 471 traffic, 11 o'clock, 6 miles northbound, Embraer descending north altitude, but welcome for Copa 471.
25,000 should get us above this layer of clouds. Above 10,000 there, we'll turn off the rest of our external lights.
OSU 428 departure, identified time 7,000. 7,000, what's this also?
Big Sur from San Francisco was 93 miles, so maybe it just had to be at a certain altitude before we can pick it up or something. We're heading in the right direction, just a matter of time before I guess we get it. Here we go, getting above these clouds. No more freezing. Little widget sausage. Just keep going. We'll go 33,000, like 30,000 to 33. Bring the throttles up a little bit.
First reporter 941, 941, electric 90,000. 18,000. Taking us today, that's telescope cleared close. Squawk configuration. Telescope 284, squawk code 0732. Are you requesting any higher flight level? Squawk 733, have a possible flight here at telescope. See you at close. Telescope 284, very good.
Try Salinas VOR 117.3. Should be picking up Big Sur right now. I don't know what's going on with that. 117.3. There we go. Alright, we'll just go to Salinas. Switch that to nav. VOR lock.
Yeah, we're fairly cloud now.
If you do break in, or you want to start in, just let me know.
Okay.
San Marcos is next to 114.9er.
Yeah, we're fairly cloud now.
If you do break in, or you good afternoon, Victor with C38, return the outside 430, of course, we'll go with CBDC. Silver Arrow 38 Victor India, good day, squawk 2515. You are identified and cleared now direct Romeo India. 2515 coming out and to Romeo India,
Alright, kind of relax for a second and look at our arrival here. So we got the SAID 8 arrival via San Marcos. So from San Marcos, we're going to be on the 109 radial. So once we get over the VOR, we're going to change the heading down here.
Retard.
Melon, what's up, buddy? Thank you. Welcome. Airplane. How you doing, bud? Oh, Sheila's a beaut, huh? Listen to these sounds. Widget life. Yeah, Delta needs to pay me. Anyway, from the San Marcos VOR, that's going to be the 109 radial to Ventura. So we got 114.9er on standby over here. Ventura is 108.2. We'll see what runways we're going to get there, and then it's probably going to be vectors to a final approach. It's true, it's true. Alright, let's look at the weather and see what's going on in Los Angeles. Weather. VFR flight rules, that's good. Temperature 19, dew point 9. Pressure 9 or 9 or 8. Winds, where are my winds at? No wind. All runway is good for landing or takeoff. That doesn't help me at all. Yeah, jackass. Alright, 135.65 for ATIS. Get that on the first officer side. See, DME now is picking up for San Marcos already. So 197 miles at San Marcos. And at San Marcos, we need to be at 8,000.
Currently, level 240 for 10,000.
Romeo Bravo Bravo, roger.
So about 75 miles before we get to San Marcos, we can just start descending. Just for the sake of following a flight plan, we are going to fly over the top of this VOR before we switch to San Marcos. It's good. Landing is a little tricky though, to be honest.
Romeo Bravo Bravo, roger.
Or at least I haven't gotten the hang of it quite yet. It doesn't like it when you cut out the power completely. I think what happens is I end up like over flaring and then pushing the nose back down, and then it slams down, and I just gotta commit to it. If I float it, I float it, but don't bring the nose down. I've had, I think this will be the fourth flight that I've done. I had one good landing and 2 bounces. Fortunately, the good one happened on stream, so we'll see if this is a good one or a bad one. No, it's not a ground effect. I think it's just it feels like there's a lot of momentum, and I sort of panic flare. Then the nose went up too high, so it ended up floating. So I pushed the nose forward, and then it slammed down on the ground. I did the main gear first, but it ended up bouncing just because I hit too hard. So I just gotta flare and hold it, even if it ends up being a floater. And that was right around the VREF speed too, so I don't know, we'll see. I'll feel it out. Ground effect doesn't seem to be too big of a thing with a lot of airplanes in X-plane, particularly not the passenger ones. Some of the GA planes you can feel it. Turn off our anti-ice for now.
Romeo Bravo Bravo, contact your arrival now, 1205.
Someone remind me to turn that back on before we descend. Because that could be bad. Oh yeah, she's got the eyebrow windows. Zoom back, we'll take this all in its glory. Look at this. I love old school airplanes, man. To me, it's so much more fun than, yeah, it does. It feels like a spaceship. It's more fun getting in here and actually doing something during your cruise, rather than just following your LNAV. GPS is for casuals. 20 miles. So again, once we're over the top of the VOR, the DME is going to be about 5 miles because of our altitude. So in reality, we've probably got 15 miles to go to get there. And it's like that even on the modern 737s though. Like legitimately, this whole area of the 737 is practically exactly the same, as well as the overhead panel. Get with the time, Boeing. Times. I guess that's why a lot of flight simmers like Boeing now, huh? Makes them feel like real pilot boys. But if you want to do that, then get in a 727 or a 732. Fly a real airplane. Boeing, or I ain't going. I like it. just about to hit cruise altitude. Yeah, I guess, I mean, that's a big one, flipping switches. But again, you're doing more of that if you're doing VOR flying. So if you really wanted to get the full Boeing experience, come down here and play in the dirt with us old school fellas. So let's hit this up. We're 13 miles. We're going to heading select mode, just to hold our current course. Leave it there. We're going to go
WestJet 1199, contact center now on 135, that's 162. 3562, WestJet 1199.
switch this to San Marcos. Let's see if we get a heading here. It doesn't really matter what radial we use, but I think the heading that we've got here is roughly 128. So once that deflection comes down, we'll switch it back into VOR nav mode, and that'll get us on the 128 heading. What is the reciprocal radial? It would be the 308 radial. Dead reckoning is a lot harder to do than I imagined. And we're at 33,000, so I'm going to bring the N1 back to about 90%.
Yeah, we got Victor, Mach 75, anything. American 2580.
I am flying IFR. We're just using VORs to do it. Five Rivers. Actually, I do that a lot. So I bought a helicopter, an FSE, and when I first got it, it didn't have GPS or anything like that. So I was just literally navigating by roads and stuff, so I'd follow a highway to get to where I was going, which is pretty fun. It's fun to fly those low anyway. Yeah, buddy, I bought a helicopter. I bought a Bell 407. She's at PDK. November 407, November.
Air Canada 792, good evening. Descend to flight level 240, transition to 250 knots. Descend 240, transition 250 knots. Canada 792.
Well, we can start another one. I think the big thing is just not having FBOs. If you just had a few airplanes or something that you flew as a group, the cost wouldn't have been as exorbitant. Let's, we'll go direct to, by that. Go direct to nav, VOR nav.
Roger, who's looking for lower?
Actually, when I bought it, it was in Kentucky. I can't remember where exactly.
Air Canada 792, good evening. Descend to flight level 240.
So I had to fly it from Kentucky back to Atlanta.
240, transition 250 knots. Canada 792, roger.
Here we go, 150 miles. Farrell's chop and drop flight service. I like it. My landings in helicopters not the best, as you might have seen. But helicopters are fun, man. I've really been enjoying those.
We have the third line that way to work now, unfortunately.
One more time, let's look and see what's going on here. 117.3.
Descend to flight level 240, transition to 250 knots.
Alright, so after San Marcos, I can pull up the arrival here. San Marcos to Ventura, so 108.2. Got that on standby over there.
transition at 250 knots.
November 1050 knots, duty.
And hopefully we get runway 07, because that would be a little bit easier. So otherwise there's going to be a third VOR. So after San Marcos, it'll be the 109 radial. See what the winds are doing up here, jeez.
You're counted 498 heavy.
My ground speed is only 351 knots. I'm sure it's good. I mean, I flew a little bit before I left Korea. I had it for a minute, but I was mostly flying the what is it, the SU-25 and the T-51. 36 knot headwind on a final. Jesus. Where were you flying? 'Cause in some planes, I mean, that would put you almost at like, you know, hover speed.
3387 out of green engine there, 442.
Man, what, looking for the wind here. Winds, Jesus. 200 at 131 knots. Damn.
American 442, so that's center now, 133.
Could have, yeah. Shit.
3387 out of green engine there, 442.
Dutch baby, isn't it past your bedtime? Jesus. Guy never sleeps.
Rouge 1836, contact the center now on 135.62.
1356.
Enjoying our little cocktail sausage here. There's work at 7 a.m., but is it 12:45 or is it 11:45 there?
1356 Rouge.
The little, yeah, exactly, the little smoky. Let's set this up here, 108.2. And if we get past, if we're not doing 07, we're going to have to track the Santa Monica VOR, which is 110.8. 11:45. You got it. McFaddy is good at math. Dude, we are practically standing still. This is ridiculous. Picked up a little bit now that we've changed directions. 393 knots. You know, I haven't seen it in a while. Where's the fin been? Fin bar. Me neither. almost time for us to start descending. I say 8,000 at San Marcos.
Shuttle on course 2533 with Universal.
Wait, about 20, 30 miles?
2533, roger, and descend 1,000 miles.
17,207 on course 253.
Now we kind of got more of a tailwind. 428 knots just by turning about 20 degrees. Dingo, he's a drive-by YouTuber. He drops in every once in a while to shoot a YouTube video in the Discord, and he disappears for a few more weeks. Radler. Is he still streaming? I haven't seen him streaming in a while. Seems like Dingo had a pretty rough go of things for a while there, huh?
371, pretty back down to speed, about a 4-minute delay for you. I'll probably use back to there. Get back.
I think I spoke to him once. He popped into a stream or two shortly after I moved back to the U.S., but I haven't seen him other than that.
Order 243, trying to find flight level 230.
Doing real things.
Level 230.
What'd you stream? Melon, who are you talking about right now? Finn or Dingo? Or Growl? Oh, gotcha. Deutsch, what tube did you fly today? The 319? K-Jax to Atlanta. Are you flying up in the States without talking to your boy? Did you get the KATL scenery? It's good, fam. Damn, we still in Oakland Center.
240, when ready.
LAX, approach control 128.5. Oh shit, I had real boy things to do today. Let's go 8,000. I had to do a cross country because I was short 0.7 hours for that. So I did that this morning, and then I had to do the application for the check ride. And the freaking thing, there's an IACRA, like an FAA application that you do, which is 6 pages worth of stuff. And then the individual application with the DPE was 21 pages. F me.
Air Canada 498, descend flight level 240 when ready.
Fair, that's fair. Alright, let's go into IAS mode. We'll start descending here about 84, that works. IAS. Bring it back.
Air Canada 498, descend flight level 240 when ready. 240, I'm set. Air Canada 498. 9,000 for 11,000.
Order 245, front of flight level 230, speed 190 knots or less.
190 or less, and up to flight level 230 for 245.
Order 245, front of flight level 230, speed 190 knots or less.
190 or less, and up to flight level.
Look at this crab angle that we've got here. 35 degrees. Ooh, you had to drive to South Dakota for a freaking job? Hell no, dog.
Quarter 243, two direct Takeoff 1.
Boys, settle down. Or are you talking to me? Because we don't hang out no more neither, bitch. Deutsch used to be part of our Takeoff squad, and recently he just, I guess he's too afraid to die, too stressful for him, couldn't handle it, couldn't hack it. He left Kevin and I to die by ourselves. Oh, still plenty of Takeoff for me. Me and Kev. Now we're back to our original duo. That's fine. Yeah, well, maybe. It's probably not good for the faint of heart. Guys, you didn't remind me to turn on the anti-ice. You're supposed to do that. I still got time for these new airplanes and helicopters and all this other stuff. Yeah, you better. We not no friends no more. When did that happen? Because I mean, I've not found a single raid that didn't seem to be just teaming with other people since the new patch came out. Ooh, also never set my altimeters transition altitude. My bad. Good, it's 29908 in LA. You called him a bitch and you blocked him from the chat. True, true. I'm guessing our altimeter, the minimums are going to be 200. It's pretty standard for ILSs. It's peaceful back here.
Roger, again, 697, contact allowed, 1247.
Air Canada 423, I have a depart ranking time for you, advise pretty stop.
Go ahead, Air Canada 423.
Air Canada 423, Ranger flight to depart ranking inbound to Toronto at time 0036. Speed is your discretion.
0036, speed our discretion.
This thing also seems like it has a hard time slowing down, so I'm do medium auto brakes as well.
Yeah, that'll be fine, there's no beeping on there, sir. Air Canada 423, I have a depart ranking time for you, advise pretty.
Full smoky. Yeah, dude, it's fun. There's actually, you should try it, man. Get a plane like this. There's actually stuff to do during cruise, rather than just stare at your PFD. Yeah, I mean, imagine being in low IMC or something with just this. The flight director does work, though. We'll be using that for our ILS, depending on which one we're going to get. Makes me feel like a real boy flying these kind of things, though. You know what I mean.
Speakward 20 Romeo Heavy, flight level 350, good evening, sir.
Yeah, this is FlyJSM. Good stuff.
Target Air Canada 738 Heavy, with you at flight level 310, we have Mr.
Air Canada 738 Heavy, hello. Defense flight level 240 at your discretion. Transmission 300 or better.
Roger, 240 our discretion, 300 or better, Canada.
Roger.
Thank you, baby Jesus. Alright, I picked up the second VOR. That is Ventura. Wait, how do you get affiliate on Facebook? What does that work? How does that work? On Facebook? I would never stream. I don't want people on Facebook that I actually know in real life to know that I'm such a big nerd. I'm trying to keep my private life and my streaming life separate.
127.0,
What happened to our visibility? Jesus. Oh, there you go, DW page. Yeah, I really should get rid of Facebook. You know, I was using it to keep in touch with people back home, and now I'm just using it to keep in touch with people in Korea, but I guess the ones that I actually talk to, I just have a Korean messaging app that I talk to them on, so I don't know. Well, yeah. It's true, that's why we all damn friends. For life. It's true. You're the biggest jerk around. Yeah, you're right. You're alright. Oh boy, here we go. Coming up on 10,000. Still 25 miles to go. Go ahead and start slowing down to 250. Ooh, it does look like we got a little bit of rain. Good to know that works too. Let's turn it to 20 miles. So we get a better picture here. And it disappeared. Brake left and dive into a cloud bank with some mountains sticking out of it? That doesn't sound right. Lights coming on. Seat belts. 250 knots. Well, you know, that's probably a big killer back in the day, too. Look at that. Looks pretty good. Nothing there we need to worry about. Yeah, we're getting pretty close here, so let's head over to approach control. And tower 133.9.
Tower 638 uniform, the other field point.
Affirmative, Tower 638 uniform.
Tower 638 uniform, it used to be the 17 going off, clear the visual approach 24 left, turn left, and 27
270 is going clear visual, 24 left, and slow to 17 Skywest 638.
Where is my ATIS, man? Los Angeles, ATIS 135.65. 135.65.
Russia 1117, turn left at 0.
I need you. Give it a little bit of time. Not paying attention to my speed. No auto throttle on here. Keep it around 250. 250. See, this is the kind of stuff that would be legitimately good for multi-crew. I mean, you don't need it in a Zebo, I don't think. I mean, that's easily a one-man job because so much of it is automated, but with this, there's constantly so much stuff going on, it's really easy to get behind the airplane. Like, that's why I kind of want the ATIS now, so I know what runway we're landing and I can pull up and approach frequency for the ILS. Because I'm going to need that. Alright, 8 miles to the next VOR, and then we're going to switch to the what was it? 109 radial, which I've got bugged there with the heading bug. Actually, we can just stay on nav mode and I'll switch to that radial and it'll automatically swing around. Oh god. LAX. I mean, I could just, you know, dive bomb it. I kind of want to do it by the book because in this plane, I think doing it procedurally as correct as you can, that's way more rewarding than, you know, your tube flights. Alright, 5 miles. Let's do this. We'll get on heading mode, switch to heading select, heading hold. Use course on 109. So that's the 109 radial coming off of here. Switch this over to our next VOR, Ventura, and once that deflection, oh, there it is. There you go. And descend 6,400. Which runway? I'm just, yes, he wins with calm. I want to hear the ATIS because it'll give you arrival runways. Although I guess what we'll do, I'll just plan on 07, right? 6,400. IS mode. Bring the throttle back. Descend back down. Pull up the ILS. 7 right. ATIS frequency I've got in there.
Cat 4327, contact tower 119.
13565. It's in the radio. 13565.
Sounds good.
And yeah, VHF2 is on. Is it now? So after we get to the 40 miles? Why did it make us descend so quick? Oh yeah, we're probably outside of Ada's range.
Encore 3404, your clear right hand visual runway 27 Frederick Airport. Clear right hand visual 37 Frederick Airport, Encore 3404.
Next one, 093 radial for 15 DME, and then we'll start a turn to intercept the ILS 7 right, unless we get an ATIS that tells us otherwise. Let's go 109.9.
Encore 3404, your clear right hand visual runway 27 Frederick Airport. Clear right hand visual 37 Frederick Airport, Encore 3404.
Let me look. I want to do the right side. When we're looking at the airport from the direction that we're going to be coming in, I want to do the right side runways.
190434.
Oh yeah, you probably would be from this direction. 06 left, let's do 06 left. That's going to be a long taxi though. Yeah, 06 right is the departing runway. It's the longer one. We'll do 06 left. ILS 06 left. That's 108.5. Oh, you got it. Thank you.
Encore 3404, contact Thunderbird Tower on 11900. 1904 3404.
What do you mean, tube? Oh, tube group flight? Yeah. Probably have to walk through McFaddy how to do it though. I'm not sure if he's into tubes. He said boobs.
Yeah, 604, slow further now to 170 knots. Approach clearance here momentarily. Left on that,
A shared copy in the Cub. That wouldn't be much for each individual to do. Somebody get either the 727 or the 732, and then let's do a joint cockpit now. Matt and I did a joint cockpit in the 727 a while back, and that was pretty fun. Someone's got to pull the throttle. That's what she said. Well, one rudder each. One gets the left pedal, one gets the right.
Subway 3692, descend to 4,000. Down to 4,000, 3692.
Oh yeah, no freezing down here, fam. Let me turn this shit off.
Los Angeles
There we go.
INTL information Tango. 0 Zulu weather. Wind calm. Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 9,000 view. 15,000 overcast. Temperature 18. Dew point 9. Altimeter 2998. Arriving runway 06 right. Departing runway 25 right. Advise on initial contact you have Tango.
Information Tango. So 06 right. We're not going to do 06 right just because, again, that's a departure runway in real life because it's the long one. The short ones are for arrivals. So yeah, McFaddy nailed it. 06 left.
Los Angeles
Shut up.
INTL information Tango. 0 Zulu weather. Wind calm. Visibility more than 10.
Max Love Toby, what up? Let's see. Minimums. 300 actually, okay. Minimums are set. Approach course 071. Get that set on course 2. What do you mean, angle of attack on the turns?
At 604, clear the ILS, 15 left approach, 170 all the way to Woodward. 5 left approach, 170 Woodward.
Gotcha. What's that to do with angle of attack?
Right 030.
Right turn 030,
Wait, are you referring to AOA as angle of attack?
Boy 3692, right 030.
right turn 030,
I don't know, you got weird using it in a weird way. Alright, like so angle of attack is the relative angle between the chord line of the wing and relative wind. So what do you mean, like you set up your AOA before you turn base? You mean like the attitude of the plane, you just maintain a speed throughout the entire maneuver?
12 Mike Victor, descend to 6,000. 6,000.
Alright, so we're going to leave this VOR on the 093 radial for 15 DME, and then we're going to do a right turn, and that's going to intercept our ILS. 1 more mile. Oh, weird. There we go. About to switch over here. We'll go 093.
Bravo Hotel, descend to 6,000. 6,000.
Getting there, son. You young whippersnappers don't know how good you got it in your old Airbuses. Alright, there's the 093 radial. 15 miles, and then we're going to do a right turn. Let's go descend here, 5,000.
SkyWest 2930 at the Woodhill, the tower will be 18.7.
Alright, what altitude? 3,600. You enter in the upwind, break into the downwind. During the downwind, okay. We cross over the field. Set up for landing, 600 feet AGL. Weird.
Roger, Envoy 3692, further right 060, descend to 3,000. 060, 3,000, 3692. Envoy 3692, further right 060, descend to 3,000.
Just go down to around 3,600, and that's the initial approach fix there. 20 miles to the runway. 2 miles, and we'll turn here to intercept the final approach fix. Land in the threshold view. Fat chance, buddy. I'll do it on replay. 15 DME. So right turn on heading here. We'll switch this over to 108.5 is the ILS. It's already got deflection, so we're going to go 071. And once it starts to deflect, maybe about 1 notch above our airplane, and then we'll go back to start bringing it in, and we'll switch to the nav mode. VOR, localizer mode, I mean. Threshold Tuesday.
Number 6201, good day, it's Zulu 3019er. Approach is 15 left, descend 8,000. 8,000.
You can arm the flight director on approach auto. So you see that's canted, and we should get the glide slope when we pass through it. So it's armed there on the flight director side. Going.
Virgin 7371, descend to 8,000.
Switch to tower. There we go. Deflection's coming down, so we go to nav mode. And actually we'll arm the approach. So we got glide slope armed on both sides. So we just passed over the center line there. It's deflecting back the other way. Overshot it a little bit.
Georgia 7317 tower line.
Pro tip in real life, don't set your flaps in a turn. There we go. Got the glide slope armed and the... Oh, captured. Glide slope captured. We are descending on the ILS. 10 miles.
Jazz 955, come out overhead, secure.
Jazz 955 Tower, regional, just dropping to 2 final, wind calm, clear the line, runway 24 left.
Clear land 24 left, 979.
One 2175 for ground control. And oh, set of speed bugs. Flaps 30, 132. And since we are descending on the glide slope right now, I'm controlling the speed manually. I'll go ahead and put this down here too as a visual reference to make it a little bit easier to see. I'll actually disconnect the autopilot. I can see the runway now. It's all mine, boys. You can see on the attitude indicator the flight director is armed there. I can still see the glide slope. So it works like a modern flight director. It's just not quite as easy to see.
Georgia 7317, wind calm, clear takeoff, runway 23. Takeoff 23, Georgia 73 left. Russia 709, tower line up runway 23. Up runway 23, what's that sound good?
Flaps 30 and that is fully set. Now I can see the poppies pretty clearly, so we'll just follow those in. I'm 2 for 3 bad landings with this one. Let's make it 2 for 2, or 2 out of 4.
Russia 709, tower line up runway 23. Up runway 23, what's that sound good?
Light slope 500. 400. Light slope minimums 200.
Saturday morning on course 359.
Light slope 100.
On course 3259, M Sarah, good morning, runway 30, wind 2709, altimeter 29er 77, clear to land, runway 30.
20.
30 on course 359.
10.
Jazz 226, round visual 30.
Jazz 226, M Sarah, good morning, runway 30, wind 2709, altimeter 29er 78, clear to
Missed
land,
all the
runway
high-speed
30.
turnoffs. All the way down to the end.
978, Jazz 226.
Jazz 226, we're on the visual 30.
Jazz 226, Edmonton Tower, good morning, runway 30, wind 2709, altimeter 2978, clear to land, runway 30.
Clear land 30, 978, Jazz 226.
Ground control. Transponder on standby.
7242 left AK, call the ramp 2227.
Taxis are on. Turn the strobes off. Get the APU going. I'm trying to get across the other side. The Delta stuff, I think, is on the far side. Whatever. We'll just take whatever gate is near here. Clear final. What's straight ahead?
Virgin 7242 left AK, call the ramp 2227.
Okay, left Alpha Kilo, then 227, just report.
Just turned them off.
Envoy 3470, contact ground,
Don't really need
121.9.
21 Envoy 3470.
Boys, that is how you frickin' navigate with VORs. Who is your daddy?
Envoy 3470, contact ground, 121.9.
We're gonna get the inner marker now, all the way. Shut up. Is it new? I don't remember that happening before.
Ground Envoy 3470, Bravo, short of Bravo 3.
Envoy 3470, taxi Bravo, Delta, cross number 33 right.
Bravo, Delta, cross 33 right, Envoy 3470.
It's like it's all or nothing. You're either rolling and it's gaining speed, or you cut the throttle and it just stops completely. Come on, baby. Come on. Get in there. Show him who's boss.
3470, Bravo, short of Bravo.
Easy.
Envoy 3470, taxi Bravo.
Couple more minutes, we'll be there. Turn my taxi lights
Bravo,
on.
Delta, cross 33 right, Envoy 3470.
There we go. Parking brake is on. Engines are coming off. APU's on the bus already. Not you. Anti-collisions off. Freaking. Oh, parked at the southwest gate. That explains the orange tugs. Replay time, my boys. He always does this. He always leaves right before we watch the replays. The good part.
Charge warning, Jazz 134 on the visual for 30.
Jazz 134 on tower, runway 30, 2707.
Oh, he saw the good part, he says.
Charge warning, Jazz 134 on the visual.
Later, buddy.
For,
See ya.
Jazz 134 on tower, runway 30, 2707, altimeter 290.
1,000.
Clear land, 30.
Boy, I think that was a butter, man. Look at that. One more wing view and I'm done.
Tower, Canadian Porter 465, ILS 24 left. 465, number 2, being the Challenger, one more final, continue. Alright, we'll continue Porter 465. Porter 465, ILS 24 left. 465, number 2, being the Challenger, one more final, continue. Alright, Porter 465.
What is going up with... Where's my ortho at? It's like it cuts off. What the fuck is this? Need to look at my mesh order. Jesus. I hate X-Plane. Parking this one over here. Alright, dudes, I'm out of here. We'll let it go to engine shutdown as I do. I like those noises and whatnot, but we'll see you later. D, have a good night. Melon, McFatty, love you guys. Thanks for hanging out, chilling. Be back tomorrow. Whirly Bird Wednesday. I'll show off my brand new 407. I said that was supposed to be a surprise. Whatever. See you later. Love you. Mean it.